Yo, what is going on, guys? So, on today's episode, we have here a single mother over the age of 30 who is still on the dating market looking for Mr. Right, and she is getting pretty frustrated at the men. So, let's see what she has to say.
I can't right now with these freaking guys. And please, somebody explain it to me. Because if you don't want a relationship, you're just looking to hook up, you're not looking for anything serious, you don't really care about what's going on in my life or the things that I'm passionate about, why then do you think that you have the right to have a say on what I'm doing and who I'm with? I don't get it. Sorry, but if you don't want to be with me, you don't get boyfriend privileges. That's just the way it is.
Gentlemen, this is something that a lot of girls realize as they go into their 30s, all right? They start to realize that their options are drying up. Maybe they have a kid in tow, and now's the time that they need to find a real man who's going to commit to them. And the question is, guys, is why would a man commit to you? Why would a man get married to you? Why would a man risk all of his assets? Why would he, volunteer effort to fix your life? Okay, this is something that a lot of these girls don't understand when they say, oh, how about you don't want those boyfriend privileges? Well, you won't get them. Why would a man want quote unquote boyfriend privileges when he could just have bedroom fun with you and not commit at all? But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be taking a look at a few TikToks from this woman right here. And we're going to be talking about, why it gets harder for women as they get over the age of 30 in dating. Because a lot of these girls out here, gentlemen, they're just really struggling for some reason. So without further ado, guys, we're going to be jumping into today's second TikTok. And we might return to this one in a moment. But don't go off sending this girl any bad messages or anything like that, guys. We're just going to be addressing some of the things that she says in the video. So let's continue on to the next one.
Here's something that I thought was pretty self-explanatory, but turns out it's not. If you're freshly talking to somebody, and I mean fresh, like gone on a few dates, you talk here and there, there's a pretty good chance that he's still talking to other girls. And you can't get mad if you are still talking to other guys. It's called a double standard.
I love, guys, how these women get to 30 and they're still out here trying to talk to multiple dudes at once. It's like they're scrambling and they're trying to find a man because a lot of these women, truth be told, gentlemen, they can't keep a man around. Right, a dude might deal with you because you look nice, but once he realizes how your personality is and the fact that you date multiple men at once and you have a kid in tow, it's like why would a man commit? Why would any sane dude with self-respect come along and commit to a relationship like that? And I don't mean to be mean when I say that, guys. It's just a pragmatic question that men are starting to ask themselves, which is why would I risk my assets and my livelihood trying to fix someone's life when they've screwed it up? Right? Because here's the thing, guys, is like, yeah, there can be negative circumstances where the father is no longer there, right? I can't really mention those types of things on YouTube. But for the most part, guys, where is the dad in these pictures, right? Where is the father figure? Are you not able to keep a man around, right? Men are not hard to please, gentlemen. Most of the time, men are not. We're not super fussy. We don't have these huge long demands lists like women do, guys. So if you can't keep around a man and you're in your 20s, right, there is a huge issue there. But let's kind of address what she says here and go through it one final time before we continue on with the show.
Here's something that I thought was pretty self-explanatory, but turns out it's not.
Let's just pause right there, guys. I want to just draw your attention to the fact that we are on TikTok and we have 30-year-old women thinking that they're just responsible for all of these public service announcements, right? It's kind of like someone who has no business giving you advice, right? I always find it super weird when you see these girls who are 30 plus and they're out here giving dating advice or asking, talking about dating and stuff like that. And it really is just the blind leading the blind, okay? If you guys haven't noticed, like the way that women talk to each other and the advice that they give each other, it is so unhelpful. It is crazy. You know what I mean, guys? Like when we hear dating advice on YouTube, right? I don't particularly care if people want to give dating advice. It's not something like it doesn't bother me, but at least make it have some form of utility, right? And actually be useful to people. But like all these girls on TikTok, man, they think that they're giving public service announcements and they're doing everybody a favor. It's like, guys, who gave these people the internet, right? Holy moly.
If you're freshly talking to somebody, and I mean fresh, like gone on a few dates, you talk here and there. There's a pretty good chance that he's still talking to other girls.
I want you guys to notice as well how casual all of this crap is, right? And this is the same attitude that keeps these girls single when they're 30. It's like why has dating gotten to the point where everybody just has the understanding that everybody is talking to other people regardless of whether you're together or not? Right? People don't want to work on issues because these girls, make no mistake, guys, they don't want to work on any relationship that they may have or any issues that they might have in the relationship. They just figure, okay, well, he's just not up to my standards. I'm going to go find a new guy because a real man would do this for me. A real man would do that. And this attitude, it really, it bites women in the butt, guys. They get to 30, they get to 40, and the attitude that they have by that point of I'm entitled to this, I'm entitled to that, it's really difficult because they that won't carry them through dating. It won't help them get a relationship, right? And it results in discussions like this, gentlemen, where a lot of men look at dating and stuff like that and go, you know what, this is crazy, I'm out. Or if I am going to date, I'm only going to date casually and I'm not going to take any of these girls seriously. And because why would you? Right? Why would you go out here and take these girls seriously, man? I'm going to cover an article over on Patreon and Locals, guys, when I have the time. I'm trying to get out one video a day while I have the time, but there's a few articles I really want to cover. And there's one in particular in China. They call them leftover women, guys. When they get to 27, they're unmarried career women. I believe that's the criteria. They call them leftover women, guys. Right, but in Western society, it's like, oh, you get to 30, you have a kid, the father's not around, you haven't secured any form of relationship at all with him. You're a boss babe, even though your kid is going to grow up without a father, guys. Like, that is just so insane to me, so crazy.
And you can't get mad if you are still talking to other guys. It's called a double standard.
Yeah, and here's the thing: it's like, okay, look, you want to talk to other guys, fine. Right? Like, who really gives a crap? But the moment you turn around and expect any form of commitment from a dude, no. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, dudes see what these women are doing, right? I go through these TikToks that you gentlemen have sent me into the show, which, by the way, if you guys have TikToks to send, feel free to send them to the email in the description or the pinned comment, if I've left one. Right. So I look through these TikToks and I see some of the comments on these videos, and, guys are really starting to wake up and go, and make a lot of the comments that I make on these videos, gentlemen, I actually see in the comment section of these TikToks from dudes who watch them, which is really good to see, because we see what these ladies are doing, right? We know the game. Like, guys are starting to really wise up. This is a very large side of the internet at the moment, guys, and truth be told, it should not be this large, but a lot of men are all having the exact same issue with women because they're all doing the exact same thing in dating. It's really crazy to think about.
Yeah, the girls. And you can't get mad if you are still talking to other guys. It's called a double standard.
Again, over 30, talking to multiple dudes, and you wonder why your dating life is struggling. Right? It's like, it's really not that hard to secure a man, guys. Like, I can't sugarcoat it. These girls who get to 30 and 40 and they don't have a man, something is very wrong. Okay, because it's not like it's undoable. It's not like it's something that's incredibly difficult for them to do. So you've got to kind of ask yourself the question, guys, is like, why are they in this situation that they're in? And gentlemen, we're going to be continuing to today's second last video. We might go over the original, the very first one, but continuing on to this next video here.
Men's of the world. I didn't think I needed to say this, but just in case, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, don't send me a friend request on social media. I personally think it's inappropriate for married men to send single women a friend request on social media without their wife's knowledge, especially if I don't know you. Like, that's, to me, incredibly inappropriate. So if I don't accept it, you know why.
Guys, I love, again, just a few comments to make before we really kind of dissect this, is the fact that, one, we open up again with this whole public service announcement tone, right? It's like, who wakes up, guys? Like, this is just a genuine question. Who wakes up, decides to go on TikTok and thinks to themselves, thank goodness this woman made a public service announcement. Now I can go on with my day feeling fulfilled. Like, what kind of life you must live where you get on TikTok, guys, and you're happy to see a TikTok where you see a public service announcement from a 30-year-old single mother talking about life. Like, I don't know what type of life you have to live for that to be enjoyable, but if it's your cup of tea, I suppose, right? But let's talk about this for a second, guys. Do not be fooled, okay? This has nothing to do with morals and, oh, there are such creepy guys out here and all this kind of crap. What it has to do with, guys, is trying to make herself look valuable. This is something that women will do a lot of the times if they're interested in a guy, or in general just online if they're trying to make themselves look better and look more dateable. Which, by the way, guys, can we just talk about the amount of makeup and filtering going on here for a second? But that aside, okay, a lot of women, what they'll do is they'll say, look how many dudes are interested in me. Look how many men want to talk to me. Look how many guys want to get with me. You should be so lucky that you even get a fraction of my time. Because make no mistake, we're going to play this show again in a second, guys. But this woman right here, she doesn't care about the fact that, you know, some dude is trying to hit her up on Facebook, add her to the friends list, or whatever the case may be. Hell, he you know, that might not even be happening. There's a strong chance that that's not even happening at all, and she's just using this for attention. Right, it's just all this facade to try and make themselves look more valuable than they actually are, guys. Like it's all just like a PR tactic, I would almost call it. But let's jump through this once again and kind of break it down into pieces.
Amens of the world. I didn't think I needed to say this, but just in case, if you have a wife,
again, no, this was totally unprompted, and I don't know who is asking that you say it. Right, like the fact that we open up videos with the idea that people are, you know, so keen to see what you have to say is kind of wild to me. It kind of blows my mind.
Wife or girlfriend, don't send me a friend request on social media. I personally think it's inappropriate for married men to send single women a friend request on social media.
Guys, don't you find it interesting, right, how a lot of these modern women, they will sit here and talk about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, but if you take a moment to look at their dating history, it's nothing but inappropriate, right? It's nothing but men who don't give a crap about them, who do questionable things with their life, and whatever the case may be, guys. It's like this talk of morals and ethics, it only seems to come up when they need something. Right, when they need a man, or they need someone to take them seriously, or they need men to look at them in a particular way, that's when you see the morals start to come out. Right, this is something that you see with girls who, try and make themselves. What a lot of young girls do, guys, is they're out here, they're happy, taking money from older dudes to do questionable things. Right, they're happy to open up an OF page or whatever the case may be. But when you start to have the issue, right, is when these girls get into their 30s, that's when they start to bring the morals in. Like, how could a guy do this? How could a guy do that? But she didn't care when she was 20, right? She didn't care when she was in her early 20s about dudes' behaviors because she was on the receiving end of it, you see? But now that she's not necessarily on the receiving end, that's when this stuff becomes an issue, right? That's what, see, all of this morals, ethics, questioning people's behavior, this all becomes relevant to her when it starts to actually affect her. You think girls in their early 20s, man, they care about morals or ethics or womanism, right, if they're attractive? No, they don't. Right, it's when the attention starts to dry up and they can't get that attention from men, that's when all of these issues start to come out for them, guys. Like, not before then. It's very interesting.
Without their wife's knowledge, especially if I don't know you, like, that's, to me, incredibly inappropriate. So if I don't accept it, you know why.
Again, like that end piece right there, if I don't accept it, now you know why. It's like, wow, really? So you have that many dudes who are hitting you up on Facebook Facebook friend requests, which, by the way, is like, on its way out, right? You mean to tell me that this woman made a TikTok specifically to show off her, her quote unquote moral virtues, and just announced that men should stop adding her on Facebook? Guys, what this is it's just a giant PR move to make herself look more valuable than she actually is. That's all that it really is, and that's all that a lot of these TikToks are, guys. Is like them trying to make themselves look valuable in one way or another. And don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not trying to be mean or rude to this woman. It's just I don't think a lot of dudes, when they watch videos like this, kind of understand what the hell is going on. Because I see a lot of comments on these videos where they're like, "Oh yeah, that's super creepy. How could guys do that? And all the like, just sympathizing and taking her side on all this kind of crap. And it's just really kind of pitiful to see that, I'm not going to say I have any expectations of TikTok, gentlemen, but we have 30-plus-year-old women making public service announcements. At some point, guys, it really just becomes free content. But I wanted to jump back into this first video momentarily, if I can find where I put it. And let's go through this before we jump into today's Reddit story. So without further ado, I need to switch to the correct screen.
Guys, and please somebody explain it to me, because if you don't want a relationship, you're just looking to hook up, you're not looking for anything serious, you don't really care about what's going on in my life or the things that I'm passionate about,
again, let's return to the fact, okay, that this woman is a 30-plus-year-old single mother. And of course, dudes don't care about what's going on in your life or what you have going on. It's like, by default, why would a man involve himself with a woman who has a child and is over 30 by default? You see what I'm saying, guys? Is like men start to ask themselves these questions. It's like, okay, why would I marry a girl who already has a child? Why would I marry in 2021 at all? Right? And it's like, what do men get out of this bargain? Right? Because let's not kid ourselves here, gentlemen. If you get with a girl like this and you're a dude whose life is on track and you've been working or whatever the case may be, she gets a lot more out of the relationship than you do. Right? It's not as if you go into this relationship and you're the one that benefits. No, see, what's going to happen is she's going to use intimacy to get you into the relationship. And then when the relationship forms, the connection is there, you start to commit more and more. That's when the intimacy starts to get drawn back. Right? When men invest into relationships, women they back off their investment in order to manipulate and keep you there. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is why a lot of men will have those stories where, oh, she was so fantastic in the beginning, she did all of these things for me, but as the relationship quote unquote progressed, now things have gotten a whole lot worse. That's what single mothers will do, guys. They'll lure in dudes with intimacy and affection, and then that'll be that, right? And before we continue on with the video, guys, I want to make the point as well that this has been going on for a very long time, right? Dudes who get married and they get out of marriages, they realize what the hell happened to them, which is a lot of women will lure men into marriages. And then you know what happens when the dude gets into the marriage, guys? Straight off to the bank, to get that mortgage out and to sign away his life into paying for her and possibly her children. Right, and that's kind of where we're at, and that's why a lot of guys walk away from marriage and relationships and society in general, I would say.
The things that I'm passionate about. Why then do you think that you have the right to have a say on what I'm doing and who I'm with? I don't get it. Sorry, but if you don't want to be with me, you don't get boyfriend privileges. That's just the way it is.
And here's the thing, guys. I kind of agree with her here. Let her go to the streets. Who cares, man? Right? Dudes look at relationships like this and, oh, I just want her to be my special one, and I want to have a relationship with her and hang out with her and do all these fantastic things with her. It's like, guys, don't try and change these girls into something they're not. You're gonna spend a whole lot of energy trying to quote unquote fix these girls when you can't turn a 304 into a housewife, gentlemen. We've had that phrase for a very long time over here, for a very good reason. But guys, I kind of wanted to wrap up today's episode. I'm not sure how much time I have left. I have to be heading out of the house very shortly for the day. But I wanted to show you guys one, possibly two Reddit stories here, just to kind of paint a little bit of a picture for you guys before the show wraps up. So here we have an article titled, "I, a 27-year-old male, am literally the second and safe choice for my girlfriend." And now how this ties in, guys, is a lot of women, when they get to 30s, they get to 40s, the dudes that they select are like the 50th choice in their life. Dudes get into relationships with these women and they seem to think, okay, because I'm with her now, I'm obviously her first choice. No. See, you're the stable choice. Right, you're the dude who's going to be there no matter what kind of terrible behavior that she does, and this is how dudes wind up in a lot of situations when they, where they aren't respected. The woman strongly dislikes them, and things just go very downhill. So let's continue into the story here. Basically, what the title says: I have known my girlfriend for around 4 years now. She was a friend of a friend. Around 6 months back, I asked her out, but she turned me down, saying that she is not interested. I was disappointed, but didn't press her. After about 2 months, I met her at a get-together, and she impromptu asked me if I was still single. I said yes, and then she asked me if I was still interested in dating her. I said yes, and then she said now that she was also interested, so maybe we can meet tomorrow and see about it. We met the next day and decided to give it a try. And honestly, it's been an amazing 4 months. We really enjoy each other's company, and we are both sure that it is going to be a long-term relationship for us. So anyways, I was hanging out with friends last weekend, and there were two guys there who I didn't know well. We were just talking when someone asked one of the guys if he was dating anyone. He laughed and said no. There was a girl, he took my girlfriend's name, who was pursuing him hard for a serious relationship a few months back, but he was interested in having fun, so she finally gave up after some time. Right? And guys, this is something that we have to talk about here where, you can very simply, if you wanted to, just kind of categorize men into two very distinct categories, because this is what women do, guys, okay? Women have categories for men. And what they'll do is they'll go out here dating and they'll say, you know what, this guy is going to be long-term relationship material. And this is the guy who, I'm going to have bedroom fun with, right? And what's going to happen is, she'll go out, she'll have bedroom fun with the super attractive guys and whatever the case may be. But if she can't secure a relationship from him, she's going to go, okay, well, fine. Well, at least I got this guy. But she's still going to be attracted to that original guy. Right? She's still going to be attracted to that original man. I don't care how many times she throws out the I love you or whatever the case may be, gentlemen. A lot of men are starting to realize the game that women play, where they have multiple dudes on the go at once, and when they can't secure commitment from one, they hop on to another. Right? Women, seriously, guys, they really do categorize men. They think to themselves, okay, well, this guy's going to be here no matter what I do. This guy's really attractive, so I'll chase him, and I'll just try and play all of my cards at once. Meanwhile, a lot of guys don't really have a clue what's going on, and that's how you end up with a lot of dudes getting really frustrated at this situation. But continuing on. So when, let's keep going, blah, blah, blah. So she was pursuing this guy for a serious relationship and the timelines matched. So when she turned me down, she was pursuing him, and when he wouldn't commit, then she asked me out. It just left a funny feeling in my stomach. When we were hanging out afterwards, I mentioned that I ran into him. She was visibly distressed, so I didn't say anything further. I don't know how to feel here, Reddit. Should I ask her about it? Do I even have the right to ask her about it? It just feels like she is settling with me because she couldn't get her first choice to commit to her. And guys, something that I really wanted to point out here is the fact that this woman is 29 years old. All right? This is not the first time that this has happened. There have been multiple men before this situation where she's still holding out for commitment from them. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is a lot of men get into relationships with a woman, but that woman still literally belongs to like 10 other dudes, 10 plus other men that she couldn't secure commitment from. And if any of those guys come along and call, she'll go right back. Right? And this is how you end up with women cheating just so absolutely easily, guys, is because they still think that they're entitled to dudes in their past. They still think, okay, well, that guy who's 6 foot earning 6 figures that I used to have bedroom fun with, he might want a relationship with me now. Yeah, I have a husband and I have some kids, but I'm just going to go see. I'm going to go have a coffee with him and see exactly what he wants. Right? And again, guys, this woman right here, 29 years old, really kind of pushing it. Right? Really pushing it. And chances are this is why she started to commit and look for a long-term relationship. Notice here how, right? We really enjoy each other's company, and we are both sure that it's going to be a long-term relationship for us. Yeah, because the long-term relationship benefits her now. Right? You see that, guys? Like, the long-term element of this benefits women who go into their 30s because they're running out of attention from dudes. They're running out of those, those good options that they want to have. So this is, again, gentlemen, don't be fooled by this kind of crowd. This is why I say a lot of the times, gentlemen, that long-term relationships really don't benefit men a lot of the time. But guys, I wanted to jump into this last final Reddit story before we wrap up today's show. And this one is a bit of a laugh. So let's have a look at this. This comes from a subreddit literally titled Dating Over 30. And it says, are educated women who are 30 plus year old desirable? Do men not like educated black women? And I mean this seriously. Ever since I turned 30 and started law school, my dating pool has become almost non-existent. I get very few matches, and most of the time it's either guys wanting to hook up or they'll unmatch when they hear what I do. I am cute. I am curvy, but but actively losing weight for a wedding. I just gotta love how we gotta use fluffy language like this, right? Rather than just being honest with the situation. Like, language like this, guys, is really it's frustrating to read, right? It really is. Actively losing weight for a wedding, which has boosted my confidence. I dressed well, keep myself put together, and try to present my best foot on dates. I've noticed this trend where my friends seem to have a much harder time than my other friends when it comes to dating. Blah, blah, blah. All of these issues here. So the question is, do men find educated women of color in their 30s to be less desirable than other women in the same situation? It seems to me that I have to be perfect to a man from the get-go in order to get a second date. Guys, this is something that a lot of girls come to again, where they hit 30, they spend time on their career, and what happens is a lot of these girls, man, they get hardened by their career, particularly law, right? Where, you know, it's a lot of these girls, man, they develop a personality that is really counterproductive to relationships, right? This confidence and I demand and whatever, if you want to call it confidence, what it really comes off to a lot of men as is entitlement and arrogance. And this is something that a lot of girls struggle to see, and it really does keep them single as they go into their 30s. But gentlemen, we are going to be wrapping up today's show there. So as always, make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the show. And as always, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. And I'll be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.